Today is Daily Cyber number 88. Got my power back, pretty excited. Got to get back into studying today. I'm just pulling this up. Just give me a second here. Just pull up my notes, what I got to review today. And then I'm really excited to kind of get back into the swing thing. So 3.6, analyze a scenario and select the appropriate type of mitigation and deterrent techniques. 3.7, giving a scenario, use appropriate tools, techniques to discover security threats and vulnerabilities. And then I got to jump into 4.0 today, which is application data and host security, which the three areas that I'm weak on that I need to review are summarizing mobile security concepts and technologies, which is 4.2. 4.3 is given a scenario, select the appropriate solution to establish host security. And then 4.5, compare and contrast alternative methods to mitigate security risk in static environment. I'm sure that's supposed to say in a static environment. So that's what I'm working on today. Also, I'm going to be back into liquid fast. I'm not going to say water fasting yet. I'm going to progress probably into that. So I got my water again. I got some tea behind me just to start the process. So I'm going to do tea and water today, really kind of clear my system. And the reason for that is that I find sometimes a little bit my allergies are slowly starting to come back. I'm slowly getting the sniffles here and there, so I want to make the active, be proactive in clearing my system, getting some stuff out. Also, I noticed that I've been going to some family get-togethers and things like that and different parties, and I'm sure you're like me. As you're doing that, you might not eat the best of foods, right? You might have some cake, you might have things that are not the healthiest for you, so it's always good to get back into your routine. I believe, unless you're dealing with a health issue or disease, anything like that along the line, you can live an 80-20 life, which 80% of the time you eat really clean and 20% of the time you can kind of throw caution to the wind. But if you're having a health issue, some health concern, you need to go more, 85, 90, and potentially maybe 100%. Eating clean, eating really healthy. Now, I know for me, the more clean I eat, and the more I go towards that, the better I am at retention, studying, anything along that line. So you are what you eat. If you want to be successful in life, you listen to any successful entrepreneur, guru, mentor. They always talk about their rituals in the morning, how they eat and how they take care of their health and their body, and how that helps develop the foundation to be successful. Well, being in cybersecurity, you know as well as I do, we are going to have long hours, stressful days, dealing with outages. Clients are going through different types of issues, being emotional that, oh my God, my server's down, my website's down, I've been hacked, I've been compromised, my identity's been stolen, whatever that may be. And they're going to be going through that emotion, and then, they could be taking that out on you, going their primal instinct of fight or flight, right? They could either go into themselves, or they can be fighting with you, why didn't you protect me? And oh my God, what am I supposed to do? And just like shotgun. And you, the more relaxed, the more balanced you are, the easier it is to help them resolve their issue, right? And then start creating a strategy or a plan towards resolution, or at least a plan towards start working towards resolving the issue. Sometimes it can take, a longer period depending on what has been affected. It could be an outage that's a couple hours, it could be an outage that's a couple days. Like for me, the power outage, right? I had UPSs, I had backup systems and all that, and everything's restored. Like, my systems didn't go down, like in the sense of I didn't lose any data, I didn't have any electricity, so I couldn't bring up anything, but all my systems are redundant in the sense they're backed up, and I didn't lose any data, just I lost time, right? Which kind of sucks. And don't get me wrong, I mean, I could have done other things. I could have gone to a local library and worked off there, but to upload and do things like that, there's not that much bandwidth. So setting up redundant sites is not like warm sites or hot sites. It's really not cost effective for me right now, but something that I might think about as I develop my business out later, how to do that, or if it's necessary. So that's kind of what's going on in my mind. I'm gonna get at it, get studying. I don't think there's anything else I wanted to just kind of chat about this morning, but that's really kind of the snapshot of what I'm working on, kind of what's going through my mind as well. So I'm gonna get at it, get studying, and I'll keep you posted on how the day goes. So right now it's about 6. I'm just looking at the time here. 6:37 p.m. I'm going to try to make this quick, not too long. I did a previous recording and I kind of ranted on and it went for too long. So I'm going to make this quick. I caught up on my studying and my review. Reviewed 4.2, 4.3, and 4.5. 4.2 is summarize mobile security concepts and technologies. I have to learn a little bit more about implementation of BYOD, bring your own device. What else do I got here? 4.3 is given a scenario, select the appropriate solution to establish host security. And then 4.5 is compare and contrast alternative methods to mitigate security risks in static environments. So those are 2 areas I got to cover. Again, just to review them, make sure I've got them down pat. But I really appreciate CompTIA Cert Master. It's filling the gaps of some of the video training I've done, as well as the Cybex books, where they talk about the conceptual and explanation of what these concepts mean, but they don't dive too deep into the actual application and applied knowledge that you need to know to pass the exam. Because a lot of times when you're doing the test, it's scenario based and it's talking about, if you have this scenario and you're going to do this, what would you do? What's the best choices? Or select these options, or move things around and put them in place. So being able to apply what you know is so much better, for me at least, and it's helping me learn. I got to cover 5.0. I don't know if I'm going to have time tomorrow. 5.0 is access control and identity management. The 3 areas that I'm week on and I need to review is 5.1, compare and contrast the function and purpose of authentication services. 5.2 is given a scenario, select the appropriate authentication, authorization, and access control, the AAA. 5.3 is install and configure security controls when performing account management based on best practices. So those areas I got to cover, so I'm excited about that. On a personal note, some fun things that I've been working on. I just received my Grip 6 belt. I recommend it if you guys are looking at belts. Check these out. These are actually really cool. You can interchange the belts with the belt buckles. I have a white one now, a brown one, a gray one, and a black belt. And then I have different colored belt buckles, a gray, a black, and I'm trying to figure out what other color. I have 3 different colors, and I can interchange the belt buckles with the belts, with the straps, they call them, and pretty cool. So it's easy to mix and match depending on what you're wearing in pants. So Grip 6, check that out. What else? Vice Land. Check out the Vice network. I think it's vice.com. Check that out. There's a show that's on there that's called Cyberwire. I was watching that today. So important to be up and educate yourself on cyber awareness, cyber security, for you, your family, your friends, your colleagues, your business, your clients. If you're not cybersecurity literate, not illiterate, but literate, you need to do that. You need to educate yourself. It's funny. Actually, I won't say it's funny. It's interesting. The more you start to dive into this, you realize how vulnerable we are as a society and how easily we can be compromised. I mean, shared with you my power outage and how simple I was out. Right now, I had backups and all that, redundancies, and then I didn't lose anything. But even being offline for that long affected, my studying, affected communication, affected a little bit of my business at one point, just getting back to people. But if you get compromised, like if you get hacked, if you get your bank account, compromised, anything along that line, it can affect across the board. It can affect you, your husband, wife, significant other. It could affect your clients, your kids, your business, whatever. And if you're unaware of what to do or what's the situation, it could be a long process. Who to report it to, how to get, do you have insurance? If you have insurance of some sort, even like with the banks, they have insurance, and they'll, refund you as long as they do the investigation. But sometimes the investigation takes a couple of weeks. So if you really needed that money to pay bills or whatever, you could be in a tough spot. So there's things you really need to know to be diligent on making sure you have things in place, your awareness of what could happen, process in place that if anything does happen, you can restore very quickly. And that could be from your computers to your accounts, right? Having some redundancies, maybe having backups of different things in different areas, just so that you can protect yourself. And I know I'm talking a little bit vague here because I can't go into too much detail over this because each situation's specific to the individual, right? But in a broad stroke, just make sure you kind of do a risk analysis of yourself and think like a hacker. If I was compromised, my power was compromised, my computers were compromised, my bank account, my passwords, how would I recover? How would I get back in there? What would I do? How can I secure it and harden it a little bit more so it can't, and I won't say can't, it's harder. It's more of a deterrent to be compromised, right? What can you do? So these are things I want you to think about, and I almost want to call it, cybersecurity self-defense, thinking that way. Because people go self-defense, physical self-defense, to be aware of their surroundings, the people around them, how they feel, how to deal with a situation if it ever occurs. When it comes to cybersecurity self-defense, it's no different. You need to know how to deal with your emotions, your energy. You need to know how to set calm, get those emotions out there. You're frustrated, you feel compromised, you feel violated, and then be able to calm yourself and have a good strategy of what to do now. All right? So these things need to be put in place, and you need to practice, because all of us, if you're watching this, you're connected to some sort of technology, be your mobile device, your laptop, your desktop, whatever that may be, and you look at your bank accounts, your credit cards, your debit, your smartphones, all are connected. And they're all connected to some sort of technology that, as you hear me saying in every video, software is hackable. All of them are on platforms of software. Hardware with a layer of software that gives you a GUI interface that you're able to use and swipe and touch and do all these great things. But that's on a simplistic level. That's really what it is, right? It's hardware, software above that engages with you as a user. So you got to learn how to protect yourself. You got to learn what you need to do, and just do your own cybersecurity self-defense. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'll do my best to answer as I'm developing, as I'm learning, and I'm finding as I go through these courses, I'm learning. I went from here to here. Now, don't get me wrong. I know there's like this much more to go, and that's only one section. And then there's like so much more to go, like this room full, and then once I get to there, then there's this, outside, like it just doesn't stop. It never ends of what cybersecurity and IT people have to constantly keep learning. So that's it for my video. I don't want to rant too long. I don't want to make this too long. Just remember, software is hackable. Being connected is vulnerable. I'll see you next video.